set, go! I see the gun in the sky, I'm ready. Ready, set, go! This moment is do or die, I'm ready. Ready, set, go! Go, go! I'm in the fight of my life, I'm ready. Ready, set, go! We were made for this moment and we ain't got time to blow it. Don't blow it, ready, set, go!
Hello everybody and welcome into a special edition of Mean Green Game Day. I'm Shaji Adam and with me today, Van Malone, Lincoln Revel, and Sarah Baskin. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, man.
Doing all right, you know, hanging in there.
It's a little chilly.
It's a little chilly, but luckily the sun's out, so maybe we can get that heat. And we are live at LSA because this is homecoming weekend and today is the homecoming game. And how about that view?
So excited.
Right, okay.
You cannot beat that. That is amazing. I want to thank LSA for that. But right now, UNT, I think this is a must-needed situation, having homecoming with all that energy. But let's talk about last week's game against the Charlotte 49ers. Mason Fine had one of his best games of the year, 26 of 38, 394 yards, and he threw for 5 touchdowns. He even said himself it was probably one of the best games he's ever played. But ultimately, Charlotte would pull out with the win, winning 39-38. And Van, I'm gonna start with you. We've been following this team all season long, and the problems, they just keep stacking and stacking. Yeah. What went wrong in this game?
Honestly, it was the defense. Kind of the same story, different chapter, really,
Yeah.
for the entire season. I mean, 600 yards of total offense given up without any turnovers. That's something that can't happen. And with such a great offense, offensively, UNT is one of the best in the conference. It's just defensively they continue to hold it back. They're playing like wet toilet paper, letting people run right through them. It doesn't look cohesive. It looks like they're thinking, they're trying to think too much, playing slow, guys getting blown coverage, people wide open, missed tackles. It's things that you can't have, especially so late in the season where this is crunch time. We're trying to make bowl games, for some teams trying to make the conference tournament, for the Power 5 teams trying to make a push for national championships. It's times that you can't have mental mistakes, and UNT has way too many mental mistakes right now.
And Lincoln, now I'm going to go to you. What do you think went wrong for the Mean Green in this game?
No, like Van said, I think defense did have a lot to do in this game. However, I think offense had just as much to do because UNT scored 14 points in the first quarter, which was great. However, in the fourth, they only scored 3 as opposed to Charlotte's 18. So defense did play a huge factor in this game, but I do think offense played just as big a factor.
You know, I love that you brought up that fourth quarter. That fourth quarter, a lot went wrong there at the end. There was a blocked field goal at the end. We had a missed pass interference call on Darden. Kind of ended our game on a fumble. It was just really unfortunate there at the end. It was a 1-point loss, which is just crushing, especially in a game that, should be a must-win game. Or should be an easy win game and turns this homecoming game into a must-win game. But yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with defense, and we're really just not getting turnovers as a defense, which is a huge regression from last year. We've only had three interceptions all season.
Yeah, and kind of staying with the defensive problems, look at Charlotte's side. QB Chris Reynolds, 24-32, 336 yards. He had 4 total touchdowns because he threw for 3 and then he ran for 1. He was actually Conference USA Player of the Week. And running back Ben LeMay, who's statistically probably the best running back in Conference USA, he had 30 carries for 155 yards, which was a season high, and he added 2 touchdowns as well. Victor Tucker, 10 catches for 140 yards. He was just lighting up the Mean Green secondary. And Lincoln, I'm going to go to you. UNT came into this season with high expectations, with the bowl game they've had yesterday with Seth Luttrell and Mason Fine. This is Mason Fine's last season. Everybody had such high expectations. What are they missing?
Defense. This is going back to defense. Secondary is not doing well right now. In this season, UNT has only had 1 game where the defense has allowed less than 20 points, and that was against UTSA, where they only allowed 3. So the secondary is not doing well, and they need to step it up fast because it's crunch time now. So we don't have any time to lose.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm going to go back to turnovers because our offense is extremely good at getting points off of turnovers, and so their defense just needs to help them out there. Again, I don't want to hammer on the offense too hard. I think that it's easy to blame the quarterback for a lot. Mason Fine is having an excellent year. He had his best game last week, scored 5 touchdowns. He said he was having fun playing that game, and I just don't want to hammer on him too hard, but again, it has to be a team, it has to be a unit, but the defense really just needs to step up.
Yeah, Sarah, like you mentioned, when you have a great offense, if you have a bad defense, you at least want to get turnovers.
Right.
You want to be good on third down defensively. You want to be good in the red zone defensively. That helps your offense get better field position, be able to score. But really, UNT, the thing is kind of their depth. Their depth has been a huge issue, especially, we had Rico Bussey go out early. We've had so many injuries on both sides of the ball. And when you're a team like UNT, who definitely doesn't maybe not have the depth that some other schools have, it's really you're pretty top heavy. So when the starters go out, you're relying on freshmen, sophomore, redshirt sophomores that really haven't had a lot of time to play on the field. And when they are pushed to play, like, okay, you got to go on the road against a really good team. Good luck. It's really like it's a tough position for them to be in. So depth is a big issue. We're gonna see how they handle that in the offseason. Guys are gonna get healthy. We're gonna see. We're gonna see, especially today with the UTEP team. Maybe not as good in the Conference USA, but still a Division I team that has talent. And everybody's gonna have to come out and play 100% to get this win, because it's not going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah, and I listened to Mason Fine during the press conference. I've never seen him so just devastated over the season, because this is his last season. This is it. And he did not picture this whatsoever. But
no one did, really.
Yeah, and you were saying that, we'll see if people coming back. But let's kind of see if there can be a turnaround. And Van, do you really think there's going to be a turnaround with the rest of the schedule left?
By turnaround, I hope, if you mean bowl game, I don't think so.
Yeah, you have to win 6 games to apply for a bowl game, and UNT's won 3 so far.
Yes. I do not believe they're going to make a bowl game. I hate to play devil's advocate. I love my school, but I look at the schedule. They play La Tech, who's 7-1 right now. UAB 6-1 now, and then they play Rice. That schedule is.
And La Tech is undefeated in conference play.
Yeah, they've won, I believe, 7 in a row, 7 or 8 in a row. Like,
absolutely.
UAB plays Tennessee today in Knoxville, so that's going to be a tough game. But I really, really, really want to see how UAB does against Tennessee, because then I think that'll be I think actually between La Tech and UAB, I believe UNT has the best shot to beat UAB. That La Tech game is going to be, it's going to be tough. But do they make a bowl game? I don't think so.
Oh, sorry. Do you mind if I go first?
Yeah,
All
go
ahead. Now, I kind of disagree with you there. I do believe that UNT could make a bowl game if they turn it around today, because I know that we can beat UTEP. We have the skill and the strength to beat UTEP. I think we can win. I think we can beat Rice. UAB is going to be probably the toughest game that we have to play besides La Tech, but UAB, I think that we can hold our own against them, and I think that it'll be a close game. So I think we might actually be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game against UAB. Listen, I see us winning today against UTEP, probably picking up a loss on the road against Louisiana Tech, unfortunately, but picking up a win against Rice, and then it's all going to come down to that game against UAB. It's our last game of the season. It's a home game. I really feel like if we can come away with that record that I was just saying, our crowd's going to show up and show out, and we can really make a run.
So basically, to put in perspective about UNT's chances right now, just to put in perspective where they are in Conference USA. So there are 14 total teams in Conference USA. And looking at the offense, UNT, second best offense overall in Conference USA.
Great offense.
They are the 7th best rushing offense overall. They're second in passing, and they're second in scoring. Really good. Mason Fide, he's going to light up the offense. Even though he lost Jalen Guyton, because Jalen Guyton graduated, he tried out for the Cowboys, all that good stuff. But they still are able to put the ball in the end zone, no problem. But then look at the defense. There are 14 total teams, 12th in scoring, 13th total, 10th in pass defense, 9th in, what am I supposed to do with that? I can't do anything with that. It's a very struggling thing. So look, UTEP and Rice, those are must-wins that you have to. It's all about, like you said, La Tech and UAB. Those are very tough teams. And look, even Southern Miss, looking at the Western Division, UNT is 4th right now in Conference USA. In front of them is La Tech, UAB, and Southern Miss. They already lost to Southern Miss. So this is not a good look. So real quick, Sarah, I know you're kind of touching on it, but do you really think, do they have a better chance of La Tech or UAB in that game?
I really feel like they have a better chance against UAB, and honestly, it just goes, it's a personal preference. It's all about the home game. They have not been successful on the road at all this year. La Tech is undefeated at home. It's going to be an extremely, extremely tough game. Again, that UAB game is at home. It's the last game of the season. It's Mason Fine's last regular season game as our quarterback. I think we're going to show up and show out for him.
All right, and we'll be sure to preview the game later, but coming up, we're going to go over the history of homecoming and kind of bring up some fun facts next.
What does it look like when a life is truly changed?
I feel a sense of accomplishment because I built a house. This house has brought us financial independence.
It's a great place to raise a family.
Strength, fuerza. When I look back where we've come from to where we are today, it makes my heart very happy.
Potential. Potencia.
For me, this house means all of us together.
Sorry. Together.
Security.
Security.
Every family dreams to have their own house. This house
changed our lives.
Habitat for Humanity is at work in your community and around the world. Through shelter, we empower.
Your zip code. Just one number different, and you might have a whole other life. Different school, different job, different dreams, different problems. In America, the zip code you're born in can determine your future. The Y works to change that, with programs and services that help everyone thrive, no matter who you are or where you're from. For a better us, support your local Y today.
Well, UNT is just getting bigger and bigger as a program. More and more freshmen are coming in, but I still feel that they don't really understand how much history is behind homecoming and just how special it is. Now let's go over some fun facts about homecoming. Van, I'm gonna start with you. What'd you look up?
So I saw a few things. One thing I saw that the Willis Library has over 2,000 miniature books. They're about the size of they're about a millimeter. Yeah, about a millimeter. And I mean, that's like about that big, right? They're pretty small. And then also, I was on Twitter scrolling, and there was a video going around of the legendary Lucky the Squirrel, the albino squirrel, that there was a appearance. Now, I don't know if it's real. It might be
I saw that.
Yeah.
I really thought it was just a legend when I first came to UNT, but all of a
yeah,
sudden it's
like-
real. I was like,
I don't know,
okay.
like, my journalist eye was like, I don't know. Let me fact check this. I don't know. Maybe was it from Reddit? I don't know. But hey, it could be real. I like to think it's real because we got tests coming up. I need all the lucky I can get.
Lucky is our new official mascot. Like we gotta hope that he's real because.
Exactly.
All right, Lincoln, what'd you find out?
I actually found out. So we all know that UNT has existed since 1890. Homecoming actually did not start. We didn't start homecoming festivities until 1929.
Wow.
And that year we actually we had a homecoming game, had all that fun stuff. We ended up winning 34-0. And so, but yeah, we actually didn't start.
And that was back when we were NTSU, North Texas State
Yes,
University.
yes, it
so
was.
that was way before Mean Joe Green. So that's unbelievable.
Man.
So, listen, I know we're up here a little bit cold on this roof. I'm the only one that brought gloves. I was the only one that thought ahead on that one.
Listen,
but,
all right.
I could only find one.
So I know it's cold, but listen, the coldest homecoming game was actually in 1976, and we played Florida State. That morning of the game, Fouts Field was covered in snow, and that was for some of those Florida players, that was the first time they'd ever seen snow, and so they actually made snowmen before the game, which I think is awesome. And 4 brave band members came out and during halftime and played the fight song along with Jingle Bells and White Christmas.
I hope they got like scholarships for the rest of their
I
tuition.
mean, really, I really hope so.
I mean, to do that. But yeah, I actually read about that little snow homecoming. They actually had a torchlight parade and a bonfire during homecoming to keep everybody warm as much as possible. And it was insane. I couldn't believe that 4 musicians decided, yeah, let's go out there. And Lincoln, going back to what you said, 1929, if that's correct, this is the 90th homecoming for UNT, which is pretty historic.
It would be. Okay,
And you know, kind of sticking to that, now Van, I'm gonna start with you. Just how much has UNT grown? Not just as a football team, but as a program in general.
It's really been awesome, especially with like the Tower master plan coming through. With they're building so many building like a new basketball stadium is in the works. They just opened the indoor practice facility. It's just like I also on Twitter remember people kind of going around talking about like old UNT, like the old Union, and going through all this stuff. Now I've been here for 2 years. I really don't know that. All I know is the Union's really nice. Oh yeah, we're getting a new Joe Green Hall was just built. We're getting new cafeteria coming through across from Kerr Hall. It's like all these new things coming through, and it's like a wave of new construction. It's like I can't walk down the street with, oh, what are they building over there? And it's like refreshing to see like, yeah, my school is where we're trying to impact doing. So we're doing something here in North Texas. people go to, I go to UNT. I love that I can feel pride in my school and saying we've got so much great new stuff. Our sports program's going. Everybody knows UNT music. Mayborn is great. So it's great. It's great to see all the growth. Everybody coming through. Everybody knows UNT's name, and it's awesome to see.
Lincoln, what about you?
Now, Van, you said you'd been here for 2 years, correct?
2 years.
Now, this is actually my very first semester at UNT.
Oh.
So I don't know a lot at all about the campus itself, but I kind of want to talk about the people at UNT. Basically, I've never seen so much school spirit in one place, and all the students are just amazing. They're all just so spirited. It's always amazing to go out to football games and just see the crowd just get so pumped up, and half the stadium is students, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's amazing to see that many people just get so pumped up for a football game.
I mean, that is one of the things I love about UNT. It's all about mean green. Anybody who works for UNT, I think probably 80% of their wardrobe is green. I love it. But the thing about UNT that I think is so cool is that, 20, 30 years ago, we were really thought of as a commuter school. Traditionally, that's been the identity of our school. We're right here in the Metroplex. So we've really catered to a lot of those students coming, from afar. But over the last, few decades, we've really grown into being seen as an athletic school. A school that can carry ourselves with our football team. The addition of Apogee has really been huge. But really, it's the growth of Denton as a city as well. And those like you were saying, there's a lot more incoming freshmen coming in, and we're building new dorms for them. The other thing too, getting back to athletics. This is such a rich area for recruiting. So we have such a big, a huge pool in the Metroplex to pull from. And it's not just our football team. Our women's soccer team is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
It's outstanding.
Yes.
Our women's volleyball team, outstanding. Softball team, outstanding. So we have all these other programs besides our football team that are just lights out.
Yeah, we were actually ranked the 25th best college town in the entire United States. I mean, that's impressive because I remember my sister went here too. She graduated in 2011, and even then I didn't know too much about UNT. I came here and there, but when I first decided to come, I had no idea how big it actually was because, Mason Fine coming in and Ren Baker, when they first came in, they completely changed the football program because your athletics program, because sports is so implemented here in the United States, when you have such a big program, it makes everybody want to feel like they want to be a part of it. Because even if you're a casual football fan, going to tailgating, going to all that, it's so much fun. It's unbelievable. Now, Van, I'm going to go with you now. How much has Ren Baker and Seth Luttrell, how much have they changed this program?
Oh my gosh, huge. Now, I wasn't here for 1-11. No, I was not here for that season, and I think I'd be glad. I'm kind of glad I'm not here, but just seeing what, Ren Baker and Seth Luttrell, Mason Fine, that whole era has done, it's just like a breath of fresh air because UNT's always kind of been, I don't want to say mediocre because it's my school, but it's kind of below average.
Shots
fired. A little bit. But it's really good to see how it's like a culture change. Mm-hmm. It's like you coming in, I watched his press conference a few weeks ago. By him, I mean Ren Baker. Watched his press conference. He was really confident, and it was like that belief. He's like, oh my, I can feel the belief he had. That was 3 or 4 years ago. At a podium, I can feel the belief from my computer screen, and it was really great to see how he believed. When you have somebody in power that believes, it trickles down. And some people say fish rot from the head down. Well, in this case, from the top, he's really like, we can do this, we're going to change this culture. And it's trickled down from the football team to the softball team to the women's soccer team to the basketball team. Everybody's like, we're getting behind this new era, this new plan to bring UNT into the forefront of North Texas sports, of sports in the South.
Hopefully with baseball coming soon, hopefully.
I mean,
fingers crossed we're getting a baseball team.
What else is a great sight to see? I mean, this parade that's going on. And our reporter, Mercedes Zaragoza, is actually in the action right now. Mercedes?
Hey guys, I'm out here on Welch Street en route of the parade. The band just passed us by. The music was playing. They were playing our fight song. I was getting into it. The crowd was getting into it. Everybody's out here wearing their green. They're really, really excited for homecoming. I see Scrappy the Eagle in the distance over there. You have families out here. Our president, I got it, out here. And the weather is not hindering families from coming out here and enjoying the parade. We're having a great time out here so far. And I will be back to tell y'all more. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks so much, Mercedes. We'll be right back.
From Iraq and Afghanistan, our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things.
2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks.
Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school.
Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
Well, the homecoming game is at 2:30 later today, but homecoming's a whole week. I mean, there's a whole week of events. I mean, on Monday there's the annual homecoming picnic. On Tuesday it was the Scrappy Games that actually happened at Apogee. I think they had a delay or something like that. But on Wednesday they did have the Spirit Bash. And Van, you actually went to Yell Like Hell. Can you tell us more about that event?
It was so much fun. It was so cool. So basically, Yell Like Hell, you know, is the organizations and fraternities, sororities, they come out and basically have a step dance contest.
Whoa,
and they dance.
that's cool.
And it's really, really, really fun to see everybody come out because, you know, they've been practicing for weeks. And they come out, it's music. This theme, it was Out of This World, I believe. So everybody kind of had space theme. It was Travis Scott playing. It was extraterrestrial playing, like all these different type of music, space theme music, and they were dancing. And it was really, really great. FSA was the one that stand out. FSA is the Filipino Student Association. Always kill it. Every year they went last. They were always killing it. Kerr Hall was holding it down for the Res Halls. It was all of it, the entire experience. I always like going. I've been going since my freshman year. It's really, really great to see everybody come out. I knew several people dancing. They were all, you know, I was all yelling their names. We were all cheering for them. So it was really, really fun, really, really great. And it's something I love doing every year.
Yeah, and not to mention this week was Halloween. Did everybody enjoy their Halloween?
Of course, yeah.
What'd y'all dress up as, if y'all did?
I was Superman.
You were Superman, as always?
No, I actually didn't dress up on Halloween, but I had a little extra credit assignment the day before, dressed up as a lobster.
Oh, nice.
I was a bumblebee.
You were a bumblebee?
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I have a bumblebee onesie from Target from
Nice.
last year, so it still works out.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this week, UNT always celebrates Halloween with the Boo Bash. Now, you actually went there, too. Tell us more about
Yes.
that.
So Boo Bash, it was little kids dressed up in Halloween costumes, and they were like so short they couldn't reach the tables. We basically had games for them to play. Had games, they would win the game, get candy, basically. And it was just a safe space for them to go trick or treat, and it was so fun. They were, oh my gosh, they were so adorable. They were cute, and we all had games set up. It was really, it was fun. It was really fun to see little kids get away from that hustle and bustle of college life and see little kids being innocent and free until adulthood hits them in the face.
Exactly.
That's a whole mood.
It was great, though.
And Lincoln, this, like you said, this is your first semester here. What was it like experiencing that entire homecoming week?
Oh, it was phenomenal, honestly. As we all know, the bonfire was last night, and that by far was my absolute favorite part.
Yeah.
Seeing so many students come out, just thousands of people just come out and just basically grow closer together as a community while watching basically a 50-foot stack of wood burn down. It was amazing.
Yeah, and Lincoln actually went to the bonfire. Let's see what he came away with.
Of all the homecoming traditions North Texas has, arguably the most popular tradition is the UNT bonfire. The bonfire is made almost entirely out of wooden pallets, with around 5,000 pallets being used. With no cranes or forklifts to help lift pallets onto the bonfire, members of the Talons form a human chain to help transport the pallets to where they need to be.
We're basically moving pallets all through the day, and we have a couple of people on stack, which is what we call the bonfire, and they're placing them into the different tiers and loading them up from there.
The bonfire is built by the Talons, the spirit organization of UNT. Standing at around 40 to 50 feet tall, it is the biggest man-made bonfire in the state of Texas. The Talons work continuously on the bonfire for a full week, pushing their bodies for over 180 straight hours. They build the bonfire all day, watch it all night, and do it all over again the next day.
It's hard, but it's really fun because you get to be with your friends for a long time.
I think this process really brings us together because we're literally spending every hour with these people. When we're not in class, when we're not at home asleep, we're spending every hour with people we already call our family. And I think that's the most amazing thing in the world.
However, through all of the exhaustion, stress, and grueling weather that takes place during Bonfire Week, the Talons still always work with a smile and a passion for what they do.
People that I've talked to about it that are not in Talons, they're like, oh, you're doing the bonfire? That's amazing. Like, people know about it. We know about it. We know that it's great. I'm happy.
It's the best feeling in the world. It's a long process and it's hard, but it is the best feeling in the world when you see it burn because that is your work, that is your pride and joy for that week. And you get to see every student just sit there and enjoy your creation, and there's nothing better.
Well, great job there, Lincoln. That was unbelievable. I'm going to try and get more into detail here. What was that atmosphere like? You were there for like the entire time the bonfire was being made.
Basically, it was always optimistic to say, to put it in one word, but basically it was at times it was harder than others because it's been cold all week, raining a lot of the days, and so it was a challenge, very challenging, but it was a lot of fun. Everybody had a great time.
You said you had to stay really, really late last night until it went down. What time did you end up leaving? Like, how did that work?
Well, actually, so whenever we were building the bonfire, Talons actually stays 24/7 around the site.
Whoa.
So we have, for a week straight, we have at least 6 people on site at all times.
Wow.
And
how often were you there that week?
I'm not sure to say the least, to be honest. I know it was over 24 hours. That's all I know.
Wow.
But I pulled at least one all-nighter, and basically last night we all had to stay and watch the bonfire burn down. So I didn't get back to my dorm until around like 3 o'clock, 3 a.m.
And you were telling us it's the biggest man-made bonfire. Just how exactly hard is that setup?
It's actually like the hardest part is probably stacking all the pallets into each pile.
That's what I thought.
But actually putting it on the fire is not that hard. It's just a challenge with all the weather, the cold, rain, and that was the most challenging part, was trying to best the elements while building.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day today, but it was ugly earlier this week.
Now, did you try to convince them, hey, can I lie to you? I've been here a while. I think I deserve it.
I tried my best. Now, we actually decide torchbearers from the 23 people that have the most hours out of all of the members.
Just take out all that stress, like,
We actually had people, I think our top 3 all had over 90 hours at the bonfire. There was one person that actually stayed a full 24 hours on site and never left.
Couldn't be me.
So,
you guys, the parade is coming. I can actually hear it coming down right now.
That's really great. And now, one last question. Just the atmosphere is amazing. Now, what do the students exactly do when it's going? Like, when the fire's burning, what exactly do they do?
Oh, well, they were going crazy before it even got lit.
All right, Lincoln, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut you off real quick because we're going to go back to our reporter, Mercedes Zaragoza, who's covering the parade, who's probably starting right now. Mercedes?
Hey guys, I'm back out here at the parade and I have some 2 awesome spectators. I have Colin and Ryan here with me. Colin, what's the best thing that you've seen at the parade out here so far?
Probably all like the things that you get from the throwing stuff here.
And have you gotten a lot of candy here, Ryan?
Yes.
Are y'all both having a great time out here cheering on UNT?
Yes.
And are y'all going to the football game tonight?
Yes.
Can I get a Go Mean Green?
Go Mean Green.
Awesome. We'll have more from the parade. Back to y'all at the desk.
Well, the parade is coming. Thanks, Mercedes. That was awesome. I can't wait to see all of it. But when we come back, we're going to be previewing the game.
To a child battling a critical illness, a wish can feel like a dream. But with your help, it isn't out of reach. Wishes are an important part of medical treatment. A chance for kids to see themselves stronger, braver, to see that the impossible is possible. Wishes can give kids the strength to fight, to get better, to grow up. Where there's a wish, there's a way.
How I define making? In the broadest possible terms, it is making something extant in the world that didn't exist. Everybody who's ever made anything is bringing something into fruition for a reason. And that act in and of itself makes us stewards of our culture. It's something that we're talking about. It's a response. Actually, it's telling a story. That's really what it is. And I include everything that could be made: painting, sculpture, welding, all of that. Yellow is positive. When a kid gets their hands on the world and learns that they can make their fantasy play, that they can make their reality, that's power. And as far as I'm concerned, everyone should feel that kind of power. There we go. If there's something that interests you to bring into the world, that's fantastic. Go figure out how to do it. Go tell your own story. There it is. And so I want to know why you make. Let's go.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Well, the UNT's game is at 2:30, but it's a very exciting time. And if you're not excited for this game, maybe this will excite you. What? Okay. Yeah, I got you. All right, well, it's a very amazing game, but right now, let's talk about the parade. Right now, the band is passing right by us, and Lincoln, I know you wanted to talk about the band. It's very near and dear to your heart.
Oh, yes. One thing is that a lot of people talk about the football aspect of it, but I think band is just as important because they bring a lot of the spirit to the game, and the Green Brigade is just one of the, as they say, the best band in the land and the best drumline in college football.
Absolutely.
So I think that they bring a lot of spirit to the game and just get everybody pumped up, and I just love it. It's just great.
One of my top 5 favorite things about college football versus the NFL is the band.
Oh, yes.
You can't go wrong.
You really can't. And I love it every time. I love it when they do like the different designs on the field.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, and me and my friends would go like, okay, don't look at the big screen. Decide what that is. What is that? What is that? And eventually we'll be like, oh shoot, they did an X or whatever.
Yeah.
And I love it. That's my favorite part of the band. Every halftime is like, all right, what are they doing?
Guys, we got Scrappy coming up right behind us. He's giving us a wave.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good to see you, Scrappy. All right, so real quick, look, we know all about UNT and what they're going to bring to the table, but not a lot of us know about UTEP. Check this out. All right, well, the parade is still going on. UTEP, UNT is going to be an amazing game. But right now, look at Scrappy passing by, having fun. And these classical cars, you got to love them. I wish I could go down there and get some of those goodies that they're passing out.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember last year when I was here, they were giving out mean green ice cream. It was like green colored, and I ate at least like 6 to 8 cups of those. But I'm pretty sure they're not giving it out now because it's so cold right now.
Hey,
but
it's always ice cream weather.
It's always ice cream weather?
Oh, yeah.
It is
I could
not
take ice cream
I
any
would
day
have
of
to
the year.
agree.
No,
And
it is not.
Lincoln said this is his first semester here. So I'm actually a transfer student. So this is my third semester here, but I've never seen a homecoming parade, so I'm so excited to be seeing it right now. Yeah, it's great. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it was always too early for me. I would never wake up for it.
Yeah, how about that? The student, now the Alumni Achievement Awards, they're passing by. And not to mention, homecoming court is going to pass by us a little later. Homecoming's also, the homecoming court's always a great thing. A good friend of mine, Ashley Pickle, she won that. Oh, here they come, actually. That's impressive. What amazing timing. Homecoming 2019, look at them. They're all having fun.
Boomer the
Everybody's good
Cannon
to see
right
that.
here along with the Model A.
Boomer!
Boomer!
You always got like the classical guitars too. I need to know where they get these. I kind of want to collect some of these cars that they have.
Right?
Yeah, shoot.
And looking at that.
Flag coming
They're
past. I
throwing
love
up
that
free
mean
stuff. Do you
green
think they can reach up here?
Oh, yeah.
You think they can reach up here?
Gotta love the
Can
Cannon
they?
crew.
I
Gotta
don't
love
know.
Cannon crew.
You're going to yell down there at them?
Hey, look up. We up
You're
here.
trying to look up?
I'm not.
No, but what's so cool is even when you see Boomer right now, just why is this so important, this parade, seeing all the students come out, and even though it's so cold right now, why is it so important?
I love, because it's like, look, rain, shine, sleet, snow, this is my school. This is my, and people that are not students, this is our community. We're here celebrating, you know, everything that the alumni have done for us, and then even the future alumni to be. And it's great. It's a great experience, even though it's cold, yes. That don't mean anything, you know, because we're out here celebrating. And I love to see everybody in the community come out all at once, celebrating the UNT homecoming.
I really love how the city of Denton really gets involved, because I feel like it's such a great relationship between UNT and Denton. You know, we really do a lot for each other, and it really just means a lot that that the city is coming out here to support us and, you know, showing us the support and all the love.
And like you said, I also love how the community comes. Rain, sleet, snow, weather, whatever the weather. Like right now, probably 40 degrees, 45 degrees.
Yeah, it's pretty cold right now.
People are lining the streets, just cheering, being as happy as it can be. Always happy to get candy and everything. So I just think it's amazing how we just all come together no matter the weather and just all come closer as a community.
And what's also great, Sarah, I'm gonna go to you. You see always for the parade, you see a bunch of groups come out. Esports comes out. You see all the ROTC people come out. All the different religious groups comes out for all the different clubs that they have. Why is it so important to show that diversity to all of Denton?
The diversity at UNT, that's why a lot of people come to UNT. It's why I came to UNT. It's so important to show it to the city of Denton because it's a reflection of the community in Denton. You know, we might be a melting pot at UNT of people not from Denton, but the diversity that we have on campus, it really is a reflection of what we have here in the city of Denton. And I think that we all, you know, it's one big happy family.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't beat it.
And you're part of the Black Journalist Club.
Yes, I am.
You want to tell why your experience, why it's so amazing to see all this diversity here?
That was actually that was the secondary reason I came, was Mayborn School of Journalism. That's what I'm a part of. But then secondary was the diversity, because I kind of always been around people of maybe my own race or another race. It's kind of been like that. But coming to UNT, I was like, wow, everybody's here and we're all hanging out with each other. And especially in our world today, it's kind of divisive a little bit when it comes to race. I love to see everybody being able to get along, everybody embracing each other's differences. And that's one thing that I love about my school, is that we can embrace that, yeah, you may not look like me, but you're human too. You're a stress cause student? No way, I am too.
I totally agree.
We can all embrace each other in our stress, and I love it.
I think part of that diversity too is there's a ton of different kinds of students. Like I said, I'm a transfer student. Tons of transfer students here at UNT.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time right now. But since the parade is going on, let's get more into the actions. Let's go back to Mercedes back on the field. Mercedes?
Hey guys, the parade just made its first pass off of Welch Street. Sorry y'all missed it, but I would have to say the best thing that I saw was the Army ROTC guys come in a huge tank. Everybody's out here showing their mean green spirit. Everybody's excited for the game against UTEP today at 2:30. I'm sure everyone will be out here showing their mean green spirit. We're taking a short break from the parade, but all these families are still out here, still feeling the cold. They have their hot chocolate. We're having a great time. So hopefully next time y'all come back, the parade is coming back. So I will see y'all later. Back to you at the desk.
And we were looking overall, Lincoln was talking earlier about how crazy the weather is, and let's get into the weather forecast right now. Later on in the game at 2:30 versus UTEP, it's here at Apogee. The weather is going to be 59 degrees overall, but it's going to feel like 69 miles per hour wind speed coming through the northwest, so it's going to be a pretty cold day. I know that the sun is out, but you're still going to feel that amazing breeze. It's going to be cold, but please stay for the homecoming game. It's going to be a lot of fun, and when we come back, we're predicting games coming up.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mind.
All right, we're good.
This is it. First impression. My way in.
Just looking at my face.
Honestly, I did not know what to talk about after
Here's
that.
the thing. Can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Can one piece of paper really tell you my whole story? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or how anytime there was an opportunity, I was the first one to step up. Because I wasn't gonna let my life, my circumstances dictate who I was gonna become. And all of that determination, the commitment, the drive, that's me. And that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume, and discover new ways to develop great talent, like me.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
The parade is passing by us. UNT versus UTEP is coming up. How excited are y'all for that game?
I'm so pumped.
Super
You know how excited I am? We actually have a little video for all the audience to watch. Let's check it out.
It's scooped up, and it's a North Texas touchdown.
Going deep, Bussey Jr. is the receiver, and catch it, he did.
Ooh, that's exciting. I cannot wait. It's a very exciting time. But like we said, the parade is passing by us, and we've seen a lot of great sights right now. I remember last year they had like these really cool creative designs where it's like these at least 4 foot tall, 5 foot tall masts, and they're walking around. They're trying to balance as much as possible. What do y'all hope to see today during the parade?
Well, like you guys said earlier, there's no such thing as ice cream time of year. I think Beth Marie's agrees. There are floats passing right by us.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to go get some. They're actually right down there.
You want some right now? Go
I mean,
ahead.
honestly,
Yeah, right.
Listen, like I said, there's no such thing as ice cream.
I am
all year
trying
round.
really hard not to shiver on air right now. It's so cold.
Beth Marie's after the show?
No.
Yeah.
Beth Marie's after show? Sure, why not?
No.
It's on Shaji.
No.
Exactly, on Shaji.
I'm getting some LSA burgers.
Yeah, on me. Why
Oh,
on me?
yeah.
Why on me? Why is that
I'm
a
your
decision?
host.
Because you're the
So?
boss man.
You're the main man.
gotta take care of us, man.
All right. But real quick now, let's get into the predictions. That's why we're here for it. Now let's talk about some big games that are coming up today. Georgia at Florida. 96 games between these two. Both are ranked inside the top 10. Most likely the loser is eliminated from college football playoff contention. Van, who are you going with?
I got Georgia. I got them on the upset. Jake Fromm, everybody's down in Georgia. Everybody's like, oh, Georgia's not, they can't throw the ball down the field, this, that, and the third. I think they're going to pull out the upset. I'm going with my gut here. No stats, no nothing. It's just gut feeling.
All right.
I think Georgia takes the W.
Now, I have to go with opposite. I think Florida's going to pull this one off. Kyle Trask he's just done a great job for Florida throughout this season, coming off of an awesome game last week against South Carolina. 21 for 33, 200 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So I think Florida's going to come away with this win.
You know, I'm going to have to go with Georgia. I really do like Florida as a team. I like the way that their program has progressed this season. They've been really showing up and showing out. But I think their offensive line is really their Achilles heel, and I think they're going to get exposed today. So I'm going to have to ride with Georgia.
Hey, I'm going to stick here with Lincoln. I think Florida's going to come away with this. The key matchup here is Georgia's DBs against Florida's wide receivers. Yes, Georgia overall has a better defense, but Florida's wide receivers, they are something special. They are studs, and I cannot wait. I'm going to take Florida. Now let's move on. Another big game. This is UNT's biggest rival, SMU. They're going to be visiting Memphis. It's a big matchup, very important game that could decide who wins the AAC in the West. First meeting took place in 1976, and that's a long time ago. And Memphis won 27-13, and they would not meet again until 2007.
Wow.
But since 2011, they've been meeting every year. They developed a rivalry of their own. And for this, I'm taking Memphis. I am taking Memphis. I refuse. This is my last chance as a UNT fan to stick it to SMU. So you know what? I'm taking Memphis. I refuse to accept that SMU will go undefeated. So I'm taking Memphis.
Man, I flip-flop for this. I flip-flop. Before the show, I was like, okay, maybe Memphis is going to win. But, I think SMU's going to take it. SMU will win if their star wide receiver Reggie Robinson plays. He hurt himself last week. If he plays and is 75%-ish, then I believe SMU is going to win. But if Reggie Robinson is not in his game, it will make it very tough for Shane Buechele and SMU.
I agree. I think SMU is going to pull this one off. Shane Buechele and Xavier Jones both had awesome games last week. Shane Buechele, 20 for 38, 203 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Xavier Jones, 22 carries for 133 yards and also 2 touchdowns. So it's just a great duo there. So I agree with Van. I think SMU is going to come out with a win.
And I'm also going to take SMU. Listen, Shaji, I totally respect you wanting to stick it to SMU one last time. And honestly,
I'll lone wolf it. Go ahead. I'll lone wolf it.
I mean, the matchup predictors agree with you, though. The line on this game is Memphis -5.5. So honestly, Memphis is technically favored in this game. But Shane Buechele, I really feel like he's going to lead this team to a win in this game.
Look, he's special, but wide receiver Reggie Robertson, his status is uncertain. That's a big blow to SMU's offense. I mean, he's the entire receiving core. If he goes down, Memphis has a big chance. It could go either way. I think Memphis, they have a 5-game win streak against SMU every time they've played.
Yeah.
I just think Memphis has their number no matter how good SMU can be. I'm taking Memphis. And, of course, we got to go to our last game. Now it's the game we've all been waiting for. UNT versus UTEP. Reminder that is at 2:30. Last meeting was last year. UNT won 27-24. That was a very scary game for UNT, but they ended up winning that game, and they just had a fantastic season overall. I go back and forth. I really do. My head says UTEP because the reason why I just don't trust the Mean Green, but this is homecoming. I think they can pull this together. I believe in Mason Fine. I believe in Seth Luttrell. I am taking the Mean Green. They're going to come away with this and somehow have a huge turnaround and maybe make a bowl game.
I got UNT as well. It'll be one of those games where they'll have some scares. Obviously, the defense, it'll be an issue, but I believe UNT is a more talented team. They've got more to gain when it comes to the future than the rest of their schedule. I have UNT winning this one.
I also have UNT winning this one. Now, my player to watch also, Mason Fine. He's just been going off this season. We've been going on all show about how this is just his best season ever. Last season, best season. His career versus UTEP, he's only played twice. He didn't play in 2016 due to injury, but 2017 and last year combined 46-469 passing. That's 66.7% pass rating, 507 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. That's a 2-0 record against UTEP in his career. Also, I was looking at the stat lines for UTEP earlier. They allowed almost 2 more average yards than their opponents so far this season, and as opposed to their 284 loss rush yards in the season, their opponents have only had 98. So I am taking UNT hands down.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ride with UNT as well. Listen, Shaji, I really understand where you're coming from when you say your head is going with UTEP. UTEP's actually 28th in the nation in red zone offense. They don't get to the red zone that often, but when they do get to the red zone, they're pretty successful. So,
and what's bad for UNT is that UNT is one of the worst in red zone defense.
Exactly. So I think that's going to be a key to watching this game. But again, I think homecoming, it's a home game. We've been really successful at home other than that game against Houston. I'm going to pick UNT.
Okay, well, we got all our predictions, but we're still missing one. Let's head back to Mercedes, who's covering the parade the entire time. I'm sure she's having a great time. But Mercedes, who is going to win between UNT and UTEP?
Well, you guys, I have our very own UNT winning our homecoming game today. You know, UTEP has not won a conference game so far, so I hope we win this one and it boosts our morale for the rest of the season. I hope Mason Fine goes off and we have a great game today. The parade is coming in for the second time. We have the band back here, so I am going to enjoy the rest of the parade, and y'all have a great rest of your day.
All right, thanks, Mercedes. Look, it's a clean sweep overall for UNT, but let's get back to this parade. It's a great time right now. Do y'all have any plans for homecoming overall, just once the game's over? Or are y'all going to the game, first of all?
I'm absolutely going to the game.
We'll
I wouldn't miss it. It's
Definitely
my
going
senior
to the
year.
game.
I'm
not
gonna
gonna lie.
We'll see.
We'll see. You know, because me and my friends have a tradition. We go over his apartment and we cook something. I think we're trying to whip some chicken and waffles.
Why don't you cook over here? Bring the grill here.
I mean, they did from Houston like I am. They're saying it's too cold. We'll see. Will I go to the game? Probably. I'll probably end up over there, at least for the first half.
Hey, I got an idea, guys. Why don't we go Beth Marie's for ice cream, and then we'll
You're
go
really
over to
sticking to
Vans.
this idea.
Exactly. We'll go over to Vans, and we'll have chicken and waffles after.
All right, sounds pretty good.
I like that idea.
Now, real quick, just, we did a clean sweep for UNT. They look pretty good. But what would this win mean for UNT in general?
It means they're one step closer to a bowl game that they may not have. Like, I hate to be devil's advocate. I'm holding out for my guy Garen because I know Garen is a big Seth Luttrell critic. Love you, Garen. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. First of all, the team's not healthy enough. The team's not healthy enough to beat teams more talented than them. That's my biggest concern, is that they're not healthy enough to compete against the La Techs, the UABs, and maybe even the Rices. I mean, I would love to see it. Trust me, I would love to see it, but I just don't see that the health standing up for UNT going all the way through. Lord forbid, Mason Fine goes down, because he's not a big guy either. He's been taking some hits throughout his entire career. So,
knock on wood for that.
Now, I actually have to sort of play off of that a little bit, but in the other way. So I think that if UNT does, if they win today, I think that that's sort of like a big momentum changer, and I think that they'll actually go into La Tech and UAB and Rice actually with a lot of momentum that might carry them over to a few crucial wins that could get us a bowl game.
I've been doing a few of these game day shows this year, and I feel like we have this conversation about how does UNT get back their momentum? What is this? What would this win after a loss mean? It's frustrating as a fan, and I'm sure it's frustraring for them as a team. I really do think this is a winnable game. UTEP has not won a conference game so far this year, but the story was the same with Charlotte last week. Charlotte had also not won a conference game, and they ended up beating us when they were at home. But I think that we can do it. Seth Luttrell came out and said, at this point it's a 4-game season. So we can forget about the past, just think about the future, what we have coming forward. This can be a win. La Tech, again, I'm just not sure that we can get that done away. But Rice, I think, is a winnable game. And then again, UAB, I cannot wait for that game.
And Sarah, I kind of want to go bigger picture here. This is Mason Fine's last homecoming as a UNT student, a UNT athlete. This win for him, I think it would mean a lot more than just probably qualifying for a bowl game.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And just what has he done for UNT and just his tenure here.
He's meant so much to this school, and he's really been someone that we could hang our hat on and say, this is our guy, this is our quarterback. We're gonna miss him a lot when he's gone.
And he's leading the nation in passing yards. That's no small feet.
No.
In your entire
Yeah,
time here, just he's been here the entire time. I remember when we first interviewed him back in 2016. His very first interview was with Gameday, and he was just so excited to be part of the program, and that hasn't left. That chip on his shoulder, that excitement of the game. You look at his press conferences every time. He still has that positive attitude, like, look, yeah, we're struggling, but we can do it. It is my job as a leader to come out here and do my job as a player, as an athlete, because these are my brothers. I need to come out here and do that. And him and Seth Luttrell just have that bond. I mean, they've been together through everything. And Seth Luttrell, I think this win would mean a lot to him, because this is like his last feel-good moment with Mason Fine for homecoming. And just what have them two done just to bring this UNT football program into a very respectable status?
You know, it's been awesome to see, because Mason Fine, he's from Oklahoma, small guy from small city in Oklahoma,
Right.
and he's obviously not the prototypical 6'4", 230 big quarterback. I mean, he's a smaller guy, slighter guy, but that chip on his shoulder is just like, it kind of embodies Denton football program as a whole. It's like, you know, for so long we've been kind of talked down to, kind of been the doormat of the Conference USA or the Sun Belt or whatever conference they were in at the time. And then we come in kind of surprising everybody in 2016 and then in 2017. And then it's just like, this is it can't be a surprise. It needs to be the standard. It has to be what now what we're trying to shoot for. It's like, no, this is bottom. This is where we start. We're trying to get better and trying to continue on. And Mason Fine has really kind of embodied that growth of Denton. It's from, we started off kind of unknown, really didn't know, but now that we've arrived, now we really arrived, and watch out, you know, in the future.
All right, Lincoln, what do you think?
I mean, honestly, I got caught listening to Van, and so I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
Honestly, what Van had to say was pretty inspiring, though. I totally agree. That's the floor, not the ceiling.
Yeah.
And I think we have a long way to go. I think all we can do is rise from here.
All right, Lincoln, what would Seth Luttrell and Mason Fine, they've been here for a while, you know, like we've been here for a while.
Definitely.
What would a win for them here? Like, what have they done for this program overall? Like, them two.
I really think that Luttrell and Mason Fine, they both basically changed the program around.
Right.
If a win today might I feel like it would cap off on a perfect little, and like it's like an end of an era almost. With Mason Fine's last homecoming, I feel like it would be a perfect way to end.
Yeah, because
his
the
career.
status of Seth Luttrell's contract is uncertain. We don't know how long he'll stay because he's completely turned this program around. We went 1-11. The coach got fired an hour after the game. An hour.
Oh, man.
1 hour after the game. That is
Not a good
unbelievable.
look.
It was
Not a
at the
good
end of homecoming. They lost 66-7.
Ooh.
And they got fired an hour after the game.
Not a good look.
You hate
And
to
so
see it.
Seth
I
Luttrell
mean-
first came. They went 5-8, and even though it's a losing season, that's amazing for UNT.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now they're respectable. The fact that we're sitting here on this desk disappointed about this season just shows the expectations that we've had for them. They should consistently be going for bowl games, consistently going for Conference USA championships. That's what it should be, because that's what it's all about. That's what Ren Baker, Seth Luttrell, Mason Fine, that's what all of them have done.
And
And you know what you're saying, I really do want to give credit to Ren Baker. He really has given Seth Luttrell the support that he needs to take the football program where it needs to go. He really believes in this football program. He believes in this athletics program. He has a plan moving forward, and I think he deserves credit for some of the success.
Oh, yes. And I do have to say, I have to bring up the past couple seasons, 9-win seasons. Even though this hasn't really been as successful as those past two seasons, I do think that it's still very memorable having the three of them.
And
I still think we can turn it around, man.
Oh, yeah.
They can't turn it around, but with them being here, it made the program bigger and badder. But you know what else gets bigger and badder every year? That parade that just passed by.
Oh,
That just shows that excitement overall.
That was so much fun.
Every year just gets so much better and better. And guys, I know this is your first time being here at UNT. Seeing that parade pass by, what was it like seeing it?
Oh, man. So, honestly, Sarah, this was also my first homecoming parade. I've never actually been in a homecoming parade before.
Neither have I.
And this was honestly like nothing I've ever seen. I didn't expect it to be like this big of a turnout, this many people. It it was amazing to see and actually be able to sort of witness.
All right, so now this is your first homecoming, so we have a tradition here. After we all pick UNT, a certain person gets to wear our stripy head, and we'll give it to you. So go ahead, toss it over your Lincoln, catch that.
Oh,
there you go, nice catch there.
All right,
go ahead, you might want to take the headset off. And there it is, look at that.
I don't have to wear it for once.
Look at that. Yeah, you don't have to wear it.
That's
We've
what
all
it looks like
worn it,
I have worn it.
at
I have
least
worn it.
once
It's on the
in our
internet.
tenure here, and now the honor's been passed down to you, and it looks great on you.
Good, looking good.
Properly proportional. All right, well, that's going to do for us here. If you missed one of our shows, you want to see more of it, go to our YouTube page, NTTV Sports, or go to NorthTexasTelevision.com. Reminder that the UNT game is at 2:30. Go Mean Green. Have a happy homecoming. This has been Mean Green Game Day.